It's keep in mind that you are in the midst of snares. Therefore, it's very, very important to achieve, build, and have what? A diligent mind. Because what? Out of it are the issues of life. Now, what is diligence? Diligence is that careful effort, right? Are you carefully keeping commandments? Are you carefully nurturing the skill or the spirit that the Most High bless you? Because you might burn it only upon your own lust or your self-interest. Our interest in this walk is the keeping of the commandments and faith in Christ. Therefore, if you don't have the diligent mind, you're always going to step on those snares or those traps. And that's why it's our diligence or it's our careful effort to build our minds. You need to have the right regulation. You need to have the right cleaning, right? You are diligent if you are cleaning your mind every day with what? With the word. And that's how you build that mind. It starts first um, with the word and stuff that one must have. Hello. We need to ensure that our minds are working properly, because if we fear only the world, then you know we're going to ruin ourselves, right? But if we fear the Most High, then everything's going in the right direction, because the Most High is a righteous God, right? And He will align you according to His commandments, right? If you go to Sirach chapter 6 and verse 37, that's the verse that will build your mind, right? As long as you meditate, right? So diligent mind is cleaning your head up, right? So that it can move with clear conscience and with a clear reason. Christ said, let your eyes be single. So if you are building something or taking care of something, it must be only singular. And the spirit that the Most High is going to give us is the spirit of keeping the commandments. Therefore, we must exercise it, we must take care of it. We must ensure that the energy that the Most High gave us, or the willpower that the Most High gave us, must be diligently working, or with care must be working. In other words, consistency and cleanup, because that's our duty, our responsibility, that we may not be neglectful or ignorant of our acts. Because remember, we can burn the spirit that the Most High gave us by using it upon our lust. For example, the Most High can give you wisdom, but if you use wisdom to for example, judgment, right? If you use wisdom to do a wrong judgment, then right, you're not using the spirit the Most High gave you in the right way, right? The Bible said that quench not the spirit. Quench not, or meaning to put out, right? Remember, spirit is like a fire, so you have to always keep the fire burning every day, right? That you may always keep it warm, right? It has a light in there, and it must be burning every day. And I think that's it. That's the main point for today, is to always keep in mind that you have a fire that is within you. In other words, a spirit that is within you, right? And that is the spirit of the Most High to keep commandments, right? The willingness, right? The flesh will always have war with that fire, but you must maintain its um, warmth, right? You must maintain its oxygen to keep it burning. Because once it's put out, then what's next, right? Remember, the Most High gave soul an evil spirit because the spirit has been quenched, right? So we must be careful because we are in the midst of snares, right? Therefore, you must practice diligence or the careful effort. How do you apply careful effort? Well, with care, right? Or with awareness, right? Let your eyes be single. Don't focus too much. Lessen your distractions. Fix your environment, right? Focus solely on one thing and move forward. Right now, it's better to fix your tongue, right? Because that is where life and death comes. So you must always be fixing that and always taking care of that, lest you not use it the right way. Right? Power comes with responsibility. So if you're not using that power in the right way, you are not being responsible, right? So one must be keeping the commandments, and that is the willingness to do so. We must not lose that spirit of keeping the commandments, right? In other words, if you lose that, then you will lose the spirit of keeping it. And next thing you know, you're getting destroyed. So one must be careful. One must first that diligent mind, which is to be careful and to build singular goals. Because if you pursue many goals, right, you're a double-minded person. You are pursuing things at one time, right? Therefore, build that, okay? So right now, I'm building a tongue, right? Because I'm struggling with, for example, a hatred in your heart. Because one must be able to speak towards someone when they have a problem with someone. So, I'm hopefully collecting stuff. Like one time, I saw a video where if you if a brother commits a fault to you, you can say to him, "Hey, I need a word to you. Can I let's talk. I need to talk to you for a bit. I need to talk to you for a bit," something like that. One must be also be graven or serious, right? Because how can you apply accuracy of words um, if you are not sober or if you're not easily affected by it? So one must be able to do so, or one must be able to build that, right? So it's a daily work, but that's how you keep the fire burning. Because once that fire is out, then you're out basically. Yourself is out. What comes next is destruction. Therefore, don't quench it, right? Of course, the Most High is merciful, but who knows what could happen if you keep abusing it, right? Therefore, build it, right? Build it. And we will be tempted with a lot because there will be 7 spirits, but right now I suggest it's better to deal with it um, one at a time. Because if you're building the tongue, then you can slice, the heaviness of this world. You can't always play defensive. You have to also slice or discern, basically. Because how can you deal with something if you are getting hit with heavy spirits, right? Therefore, you must discern first and then deal with it afterwards, okay? So that's what we do right now. So you must upload first the videos that you must do, so we can have a consistent practice of what needs to be done. Then afterwards you can do it. And eventually you will get the hang of it, right? Most High is a merciful God and provider, right? But you must ensure you are using it in the right way, with sincerity and with truth, right? That you may not abuse the Most High's um, um, blessing. Okay? And that takes a lot of effort, because we don't want to lose that fire. We must keep the fire burning always. Okay, but at the end of the day, one must always build that up. All right, it's you versus you. It's me versus me. Right? We must remove that. Right now, I believe there's a breach in the spirit, but we must cast that out, or we must remove that, so we can have that build up. Because if you lose that thing, then who knows what's going to happen, right? So we must have that mindset, because if you lose it, then who knows what could happen. The Most High, of course, can help you keep that fire stronger, right? It's our goal to protect it, right, away from sin, because sin is the transgression of the law. And if you disobey it, then that's transgression, man. Right now it's the Sabbath, so it's our turn to freshen up that fire, right? Or to um, supply that fire, spiritually speaking or figuratively speaking, right? That you may always be supplied with the Spirit, okay? With rest, right? With separateness. One must separate with the flesh, because the flesh wants to do sin, right? But your mind wants to keep the commandments, right? So separate first. You can separate from your flesh by being delighted with the word, or having pleasure or delightment with the word. Get your dopamine from the word, so you can only please that. Because if you lose that, then nothing's going to happen. Okay? Everything's going to be vain. And that's my meditation for today. We can improve our clarity with meditation, clarity, reflection, reasoning. Okay. Right now, this is the spirit or the words that are echoing inside of my mind. So that's a blessing. We have our daily bread, right? So that is why our fire still is burning, right? That we may have pleasure in it, right? And consistency with it. Right? Fear not the world, and you're going to get the hang of it along the way. So all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. I hope that you are still enduring this thing, right? Just remember, we can always separate from our flesh, right? If you are in the midst of snares, you can separate. You must first separate or distance yourself, so you can know what to build, right? Job 28 verse 28 says that to depart from evil, right, is the misunderstanding. How can you understand something if you are in the middle of something, right? Therefore, clarity is your priority. I like that. Clarity is your priority, right? Because how can you shine a light on something, right, if you don't have a light? So you need to have a light so you can shine on negative spirits that need identification. Once you identify it, you then know how to solve that problem, okay? But first, it starts with clarity. You can start clarity by separating from negativity. For example, I just finished work and I feel a bit drained, groggy, or some sort of heaviness, bored, whatever. But I just went to a park or a mall and I just strolled there, so you can just separate yourself from it. I really believe there's a place every day that you can go to so you can build clarity every day, right? I mean, Yahweh Shai or Christ, you know, prayed in a mountain so he can just stroll around there, right? So it's the same thing with us. We can stroll after work so you can build that clarity, right? Build that clear mind, clear head, right? Clear your head first before making a decision. You can't make a decision in the midst of temptation, right? You can't, salaki, you can't build, you can't make a decision in the middle of a temptation. So that's our, learning for today, right? Because Sirach chapter 4 says, by wisdom is learned by the words of the tongue, right? So you must reflect on it and reason it every day, right? Because you can learn a lot, actually. And work your work be times, and in his time, right? Most High is going to bless you, right? I only pray for a tongue that is enough to deal with certain things. That's enough for me to convey what I need to say, because I'm more of, struggling with conversation, communication, however you want to call it. So conflicts to me are a challenge. So one must have a tongue. And that's what I'm trying to build. Just build enough. Actually, those are the terms that you want to reflect on. The words enough, balance, diligence, temperance, gratitude. And that's going to bear fruits along the way. To serve as your guide, right? And you're going to be delighted in those fruits, right? It's very pleasant, it's very enlightening, right? The Most High is a merciful God, I'm telling you. We just really lack the faith. But we must keep moving, because remember, faith is a practice, right? Faith is a work. So you gotta work out something. So if you believe that you can achieve clarity every day, then you must be looking for something every day. The Most High is going to test you, but that's because He loves you, right? He loves you so much that He wants to see if you are sincere, right? So it's actually the Sabbath right now. It's going sundown in a few minutes, and I'm just really strolling so I can shake my mind off before I go into my home, because I want to clear my mind so that in times of endurance, temptation, right, I'm prepared, right? The Bible says that keep your mind at diligence, or keep your mind with care, right? In other words, be aware, be alert, so that you will not be trapped, right? Spiritually speaking, right? So that you will not have breach, you will not have a contamination, right? You won't have a compromise. Right now, there's a breach in my spirit, and I'm trying to fast or remove it, because out of it, because we don't want to contaminate the spirit. We don't want to quench the fire that is within us, right? So that we can serve warmth and light, right? So, Tuwara Yahweh Bashum Hawashai, and thank you, Israel. Hope Israel is doing great, and let's continue in this walk, in this captivity. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Bashum Hawashai.